what happens in the story. Go to the plot. What if after robbing a man, two wild gangsters realize that the guy they've been robbed, they stole from, is about to get killed and go back? What if two gangsters, realizing the person they've robbed, their victim is about to be blamed for their crime, return to save? What if two gangsters return to the scene of the crime to save the victim that they've just robbed? For your premise, make it specific to your story. Take the characters. What if these two characters, or this character, in this situation, chose to do X instead of Y? Give your characters, give your story a very specific premise. And these stories work because he has a very clear premise. Come up with a tagline for Z's film. What is the heart of the story? Two young kids who steal. They're gangsters. Why do they steal? Because it's great for their their sex life. It's great. They get turned on, don't they? When the guy drives off with the money, what do they say? Hey, that's our car, the money. They don't give a fuck about the car. Do they get into the gangster's car, shoot him, steal the fancy wheels? They don't care about that. Why do they steal? For the rush, to get turned on. So, if I was going to think of a tagline related to that, think of men. We have, what is this higher thing called? The conscience. What is this other thing down here called? Ndondo, the penis. Look at the relationship between the dick and the conscience. The one rises, the other one falls. You tell me as men, can you have a hard-on and your conscience being intact? As you get a hard-on, your conscience falls, right? Correct. That's life, correct? When you're aroused, you have a conscience. Ah, no, she's my friend's girlfriend, I better leave you. So what is happening? This film is saying what? They get turned on, but they still have a conscience. So if you're going to sell this film, because what the tag is, so the tagline is the bait, the hook that draws an audience and gives them a taste of the film. So this is a story about you can be turned on and still have a conscience. You can have a hard-on and a conscience, or something like that. They got turned on, but still had a conscience. Something like that, right? If I read something like that on the poster, hell, I want to go and watch that movie. What do you mean? How can you be turned on and have a conscience? What is this about? And it's all about gangsters, and I want to go and see that because I know it's sexy, it's funny, and it's got a chase. Somebody asked, how do you know if your film doesn't have an ending? Z's film, the second film, what happens? Did it have a good ending? The guy who had his arm broken drives off in the car, he gets the money. The other gangsters lying here, and these two people are just standing. Does that feel like a proper ending? On the surface it doesn't, eh? But it's a perfect ending. Because earlier in the film, we know that although they're turned on by crime, they rob because it turns them on, and they still have a conscience, and already that's been dealt with earlier. So it doesn't really matter how it closes. Take your idea. Try different, work out what is in essence your story about. You might find you change it, you change it, you change it. Talk about the basic idea to people, to friends. Speak to young kids, speak to old people. So I'm trying to tell a story, and let me just tell you the basics. It's a story about a good Catholic girl from Sacred Mary's of Mother of Jesus' heart, who finds herself amongst bad people who work at Eskom. And she has a chance to make millions out of being connected with the Knesset guys. And she faces that, the guys who steal power. And she's in a very difficult moral dilemma. What do I do in that situation? Tell us the basic story. Get people to ask, what is the story about? Is it about the Freedom Charter, sharing wealth? Is it about power? Is it about conscience, about good, about greed? Work out. Tell your story 10, 20 different ways. You must be arrogant. You must be overconfident. You must be brave. You must take chances. So think outside the box. Why do we go and watch movies? You know why we go and watch movies? There's some escape. But in life, and I'm thinking of this young woman with a Superman shirt in front of me. What's your name, love? What? And Tom Zota. You're the kind of person, whenever there's a problem, you confront your issues, hey. People are fighting with you, you go and say, hey, listen, you know what you said to me yesterday, fuck you. I won't bring that up, eh? Your mother gives you trouble, and your mother does give you a lot of trouble, eh? She makes you guilty all the time. And you say, Mom, you know what, you keep making me feel guilty, and I want to talk about this. Auntie, uncle, da-da-da. You go and confront the issues in life, right? You go in at the supper table, you say exactly what's wrong, right? You don't. You're cowards. We run away from issues in life, don't we? We know our boyfriend that we're sleeping with is thinking, especially your boyfriend, is thinking of somebody else. You know that other girl? Thinking of that other girl while he's having sex with you. You know exactly, don't you? Do you say it to him? Do you bring it up? You don't bring it up. Why? Because we avoid issues. We avoid the problems in life. And that's why, thank the ancestors, we have storytellers. Because storytellers take our characters like ourselves, put them on screen, and make them not able to avoid their issues. And we love to go and watch other people deal with the issues that we don't have, we pretend we don't have. That's what drama is about. So in your short films, you take characters like all of us, give it some unusual twists, turns, make it sexy, make it unusual, make it fresh, make it heroic, make it a big struggle, and take characters and keep them right at the center of an issue. Because that's when people will want to go and watch your films. Because it's about the issues we avoid, but what you got in a 3-act structure, in a movie is normally in 3 acts, right? Act 1, Act 2 is a long act, and Act 3 is a resolution. A beginning, a middle, an end. A beginning, middle, end. In a short film, you've got 3 minutes. Your film needs a beginning, a middle, and an end. Your film needs a beginning, a middle, and an end, and does not necessarily have to be in that order. A beginning, middle, and end, but it can start at the end. It can start in the middle. But you have to have a story. It's got to start off with a clear issue. You've got to start off with, in a short film, I'm saying 3-minute film, okay? We have to have a situation, okay? A character, and a big issue. That is your setup. You can start off with saying empty grave or grave, fresh grave. Huh? And the camera's looking at the grave and the voice says, Eish, I didn't think I'd ever land in here. Not at 22 years old. Boom. We know what's happened. A character's died. Huh? Died very young. Is their story over or beginning? We know what's happened. It's a great opening. Graveyard. Situation with a character facing a big issue. The one I've just made up now, I can't believe I landed up here. If only I'd made different choices. We're thinking what? How did the person die? Why did the person die? The 3 minutes are going to take us back to what happened. You could be even more sexy. You know, if I'd never fallen in love with that woman, I would never be here. a situation, a context, a character, a big issue. That's in your setup. In normal drama, we have a whole lot of things, the call to action, the first act climax, the midpoint, the first false victory, the midpoint, second act climax, reversals, all that. In a 3-minute film, you have a situation, a big issue, and we have a journey, I'm being very reductionist, of twists and turns. And please God, surprises. Twists, turns, and surprises. A journey in either winning or losing. Winning and losing. A character's got to always, they've got a journey where they're either going to win something or they're going to lose something. So, just to refine it slightly, a character in a situation facing a big issue, and they must have in the setup also this thing called a clear goal. A clear goal. A clear goal, a clear desire. I want to cash the lottery ticket. I want to be a kung fu specialist. We want to have great sex, Z's other film. We want to get turned on by crime. Macbeth, ambition. So a situation, a character in the setup with a clear goal. They go on a journey with twists and turns, either winning or standing a chance of reaching their goal or losing that goal. This, you've got about 15 to 20 seconds. Here you've got about 1 minute to 1 minute 30. Then what you have is you have a very clever twist and resolution. And this is about plus minus 20 seconds, give or take. You have a beginning, a middle, and an end. The middle part is the long part. And in a good short film, you have a twist and a big surprise. In your situation, clever journey, and then a twist, a resolution, and normally in short films, it's got to be a very scary or clever or funny or witty twist and turn. I'll give you an example. A friend of mine made a film with a great idea. It's about these right-wing Afrikaner racists, okay, who're dead. They're army generals. And you know what they are? They are evil vampires. So not only did they murder and kill your forefathers, they're also vampires, right? And they're evil white people. And they're racist. But what do vampires need? Blood. They don't want just any blood, eh? So what do? They must only have the blood of their folk, of their people, because that is pure blood, right? So they go to the Afrikaner. And they can't find one white person with pure white blood. Because all the Afrikaners are automatically interbred because of how long of history. So what happens to the poor vampires? Their racism makes them, they're hungry, they're starving. Isn't that a great concept?